My name is Rachel. If you're new here, this is Constellation Library. So today we are back with another episode of Mystical Library. Tarot chooses my TBR for the month of March. I apologize profusely for the fact that we are damn near halfway through March before this is even being filmed and uploaded. To be completely honest, it took me a bit to settle on my TBR, but I have settled now, and we are going to proceed with the books. Some of them I have actually finished. Some of them I'm in the process of reading. But before we get into what those books are, let us go very quickly over to my desk and let us go very quickly over to my desk and we will check out the card pulls for this month from the Mystical Library game. Okay? See you guys in a minute. Hey friends, welcome back to another round of the Mystical Library Tarot Chooses My TBR. Today we are going to be rolling 5 prompts for my March TBR. February did not go according to plan. I did read some of the items from my TBR, but I did not get to them all. There will be a wrap up for January and February coming, if not already posted. So if it is posted, I will put a card up in the top for you to see that video. But we're going to try to do a little bit better with this month's TBR. Some things may carry over, but I do want to read some new things. I've got a lot of new books from my book subscription boxes, and there's a lot of things out in March that I'm interested in. So hopefully the dice gods will be on my side and I will roll well and I will draw good cards that allow me to read some of the things that I'm interested in. So when we finished our last game, we were on this space, the cup space. And again, like I said, I'm going to do 5 prompts like I usually do. And yeah, so let's go ahead and start. 2 Pentacles. 8 of Pentacles. Isn't that cute? I like that. So let me check what the 8 of Pentacles is. All right, so 8 of Pentacles says to read a book with a school setting. I do like magical schools, so I wonder if that's an option. Read a book with a school setting. Okay. Move it over there. Second roll is 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 is cups. We have the Ace of Cups, which is to read a 5-star prediction. Awesome. I have several of those actually that are coming out in March. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The High Priestess. I don't remember. She's in here somewhere. These aren't in the right order. So give me a second. High Priestess. The High Priestess says, read a book about witches. That should be pretty easy. So, got 3, we got 2 more rolls. Move those over there. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The Emperor. Right here. Look at his little horsey stuffed animal. How stinking cute. So the Emperor is to read a book with a male protagonist. 4. The Hierophant, which is right here. The Hierophant. Read a book with a hard magic system. Interesting. These are very interesting prompts. So let me clear all this out of the way. So we ended on the Hierophant. So let's try to remember that for next time. So very quickly, we're going to go through one more time what each prompt is, and then I will come back after I've chosen the books and I will let you know what I picked. So the first prompt is the 8 of Pentacles, which is to read a book set in a school. The second card is the Ace of Cups, which is to read a 5-star prediction. The third is the High Priestess, which is to read a book about witches. The fourth is the Emperor, which is to read a book with a male protagonist. And the fifth is the Hierophant, which is to read a book with a hard magic system. So looks like I got my work cut out for me here. I have lots of books that could fill this, which is nice, but it's going to be narrowing it down and seeing what I want to read. So I will be back with you guys in a little bit to let you know what my picks are. Thank y'all so much. All right, people. Hope you're excited. I'm excited. So we had 5 card pulls, which is my normal amount that I do every month. And I thought about doing a little bit easier this month since I started my internship, but you know what? We're just gonna try. So the first card that was pulled was the Eight of Pentacles, and the prompt for this card was to read a book set in a school. And the book that I chose for this was Gallant by V.E. Schwab. So this book just came out, I want to say March 1st, I believe, and it is marketed as a young adult / middle grade horror thriller type novel, and it follows Olivia Pryor, I believe is her name. Yes, it follows Olivia Pryor, who is raised in essentially like an orphanage style place. She knows that she had a mother because she has her mother's journal, but she was left on the doorstep when she was a child and she doesn't know why. And up until I believe she's like 12 or 14 or something, nobody has ever come for her. So she didn't believe that there was anybody out there for her. But as luck would have it, she gets a letter from some distant family wanting her to come back and live with them. And the place that they live is called Gallant. And the premise of this is that there is Gallant, which is just an estate, and then there's a wall that separates it from a pretty much exact copy of Gallant in like a colorless, ruined sort of world. And you know that Olivia is somehow related to the people who guard this wall that separates these two Gallants from each other. And yeah, so that's basically what I know about this one. And I'm very excited. I like V.E. Schwab. I think she's a great author, and I have enjoyed the things of hers that I have read. So I'm excited to dive into this one. For the second card, which was Ace of Cups, it was a 5-star prediction, and I chose another one that I'm very, very excited about, and that is Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. So this is a companion novel to It Happened One Summer. It features characters from that book in this one, and we're focused on their story. The main character is Hannah, who is Piper Bellinger's sister, and then Fox, who is the first mate of Brendan, and he's a crab fisherman. So we are following their story. Fox is a ladies' man. Hannah is kind of like a music nerd. She loves records, and she just wants to be friends. But he's finding it hard to see her as only a friend, and she is actually interested in somebody else and has been struggling to make that work for a long time. And it's getting her to see him and consider him as a viable alternative to the guy that she's been trying to get. So I imagine that it's going to be very good. I thoroughly enjoyed It Happened One Summer. I believe I gave it 5 stars. It was one of the better romances that I read in 2021. So I'm pretty sure that this one will also get 5 stars, but it is a prediction after all. We don't know for sure. The third card pull was the High Priestess, which is a book about witches, to no one's surprise. And the book that I chose for this, maybe I'm stretching the witch thing slightly. If you think like new agey witches, then yeah, it's accurate. And that is Dark and Shallow Lies by Jenny Myers Sain. So this book is set in a town called La Cachette, Louisiana. And I believe La Cachette stands for like the hidden place or a hiding place. And our main character, what is her name? Gray. Our main character, Gray, is from this town, but she also lives in a different part of Louisiana and goes to school there with her father. Her mother is from La Cachette and has passed away. You learn that pretty quickly. And she visits her grandmother down there. And everybody in La Cachette has some sort of psychic ability. They are mediums, they can talk to spirits, they can astral project, they can speak with the dead. There's all manner of different mystical powers that the people in this town have, and it's actually considered the psychic capital of the world. It gets a lot of tourists, and that's how they make their money. And it's not a real place in Louisiana. It is a fictional island south of New Orleans, and it's basically 100% above water. Like, it is a bunch of boardwalks essentially connecting all the houses together in the bayou. So there's a mystery happening in this book. The main character's twin flame, the very best friend, they were born on the same day at the same time, laid next to each other as babies in the bassinet. Her twin flame has been missing, and so she returns to Lancashire to try to figure out what happened to her and if she's still alive. And as you can tell by the title, Dark and Shallow Lies, you will see that not everything is as it appears, and it's awfully interesting that a town full of psychics could not find the friend. Very excited for this one. I've not heard a lot of people talk about it, but I am hopeful that I enjoy it. I am pretty sure I will, because I love everything that has to do with New Orleans, and I love anything that has to do with psychics and witchy sort of stuff. So that's why I felt like if you're thinking New Age witches, I think this works really well for the prompt. So the fourth card pull was the Emperor, and it was a book with a male protagonist. Sticky note did not want to give up. And that is A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. So this is the beautiful, I believe this is an Illumicrate edition of this book. Yes, so this is the Illumicrate exclusive of A River Enchanted. And I don't really know a lot about this one, to be honest. I do know that there is a male perspective. There may also be a female perspective in it. I believe it is based on either Irish or Scottish folklore. But I'll just quickly read the inside flap to you. It's not very long. So, enchantments run deep on the magical Isle of Cadence. The capricious spirits that live there find mirth in the lives of the humans who call the land home. But that mischief turns to malevolence as girls begin to go missing. Adara, heiress of the East, knows the spirits' only answer to a bard's music, enticing them to return the missing girls. But there's only one bard capable of drawing the spirits forth by song, her childhood enemy, Jack Tamerlane. He hasn't stepped foot on Cadence in 10 long years, content to study music at the mainland university. But as Jack and Adara reluctantly work together, it becomes apparent the trouble with the spirits is far more sinister than first thought, and an older, darker secret lurks beneath the surface, threatening to undo them all. So, that sounds very interesting. I love this cover. I love the idea of like a Scottish sort of folklore and setting. So very excited. I'll obviously let you know if I get to it by the end of the month. Hopefully much earlier than my wrap up was for January and February. So yeah, excited about this one. I kind of like not knowing a whole lot other than just like what's on the flap. Okay, card number 5 was the Hierophant, and that prompt was a book with a hard magic system. So y'all know I've been working through this series at a snail's pace, but it was just too good not to pick for this prompt because I don't feel like I have a ton of books that have like a really obvious hard magic system other than things by Brandon Sanderson, and this is the book that I am currently reading by him, so I figured why not? It fits the prompt. So Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson. I have talked about this book before. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it. I'm actually a lot further than this because I've been listening to the audiobook, but I haven't updated it in a while, so I will actually update this with where I am. But I have talked about this. I have tried to give some sort of description a little bit about this, but suffice it to say that if you like high fantasy, if you like stories with a lot of different characters, and that their paths are eventually going to converge, and that there's a big overarching plot line and lots of little plot lines, then this series I'm sure would be enjoyable. It is written, I think, in a very approachable style compared to some more adult fantasy, high fantasy novels. I think that it is quite accessible for anybody who would be interested. It's just long, and so I think that chunking it, as you can see, I have little tabs to kind of see how far I am from the end, might help people get through them. There is a point in all of Sanderson's books I have discovered where you hit a point you can't put it down, and I'm not there yet, but I'm enjoying myself so far. So I don't know if I'll finish this month. Again, this is never my top priority because I know it's going to take me a while, but I'm going to try to get as much done as I can at the very least, and I can at least update you if I don't finish it with how many pages I read. So that is that. So in addition to the books that I pulled for the card draws, I also have a couple of others that I would like to try to get to this month. The first is on my Kindle, and I'm actually partway through this one, and that is Sundial by Catriona Ward. I hope that you can see this. I'm not really sure how it's going to show up. It's supposed to be anti-glare, and I have the backlight on. But Sundial by Catriona Ward, I believe that this author wrote The Last House on Needless Street, and I've been curious about that one, and I've heard very interesting things about it. And I wish the Kindles, like, Paperwhites were in color, because I love the cover of this. I think that it is just gorgeous. It's got lots of really vibrant purple and blue hues to it. Anyway, so this one is more of a horror novel, and it has to do with a woman named Rob who is in a really unhealthy marriage with her husband Irving. They have two girls, Callie and Annie, I think, or Anna. I'm not sure exactly. But there is some really fucked up shit going on between the parents, and there's some fucked up shit going on with the parents' two children. So Irving and Callie are close, and Rob and Annie are close, and it's just a very odd family dynamic. But Callie is pretty screwed up and does something bad where her mother decides, I need to take you back to the place I grew up, which is called Sundial. It's out in the desert. And Callie apparently is so much like her mother that her mother is afraid that the past will repeat itself, that history will repeat itself. And so that's why she takes Callie out to the desert, to Sundial, where the original event happened, to see, I'm assuming, if she can head it off the past. That's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm not really sure what's going to happen. It is really eerie and just makes me uncomfortable and gives me that anxiety you get from like a thriller. You know bad stuff's going to happen. I'm only 27% of the way through it, so I've got some time for stuff to start sucking really bad. The next book that I would like to read is one that I'm hoping will come either tomorrow or Tuesday. I'm not really sure, and that is The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. And I opted to wait and get the cover from Tor when it released. I just never, part of the reason, and maybe this is not good on my part, but part of the reason why I never bought the book before was because I really disliked the self-published cover, which I'm kind of kicking myself for it because it's out of print now and I could have sold it for buku money, but yeah, you know, whatever. Anyway, I could not tell you what the Atlas 6 is about, even though it has been all over the place and everyone has talked about it and everyone has raved about it. All I know is there's something about the Alexandrian Society, and a character with the last name Atlas does something that permits people to join up with him. I don't know. I feel like I don't know what I'm talking about. But it's the hype of it. The hype of it makes me want to read it. And now that it's published, I got the really pretty sprayed edge edition from Waterstones. Plus, I think I'm getting the Illumicrate edition. Plus, I think I'm getting the Fairy Loot adult box edition of it. So I'll have several editions of this book. I hope I like it. The next book is another special edition, and it came, I want to say it was February's book, and that is Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sue Lynn Tan. And this is just the most gorgeous edition of this book. I'm sure that you have seen it around, but I cannot get over how pretty this is. I think that all the editions of this book are really pretty, but this one is just gorgeous because this is my color palette. I love it. And like the end papers, y'all, like, come on now. I do plan to do a book haul, probably like the first quarter of the year. I'll chunk it up by quarters. So you'll see this and that. I won't go into too much, you know, showing you all the things, but it's really pretty. And this is another one that I don't know a whole lot about other than like snippets here and there, but it's a beautiful edition. It is based in Chinese legend. The moon goddess Chang'e, inspired by the legend of Chang'e, the moon goddess. This captivating debut weaves Chinese mythology into a sweeping adventure of love and family, immortals, and magic. So I'm not going to go through and read the whole thing, but yeah. So I'd like to get to this one as well. We'll see if it happens, of course. Oh, put my Kindle over here. And the last book that I have is our in-person book club book for March, which I actually have finished, and that is When We Cease to Understand the World by Benjamin Labatut. Not sure if I'm saying that right. It is a translated work from Spanish. I believe that the author is Chilean, and it is kind of nonfiction meets historical fiction. Like half the book is nonfiction, half of it is historical fiction. And it is about chemistry and mathematics. It's really not my general cup of tea. It was suggested by someone in our book club. We allow every member, when it comes around to their month, to pick what book they would like. And so this was her pick, and I enjoyed it. I just don't know if I'm smart enough for it. I don't know if that makes sense. I'll go more into detail in the wrap-up about it, but if you want something that's going to make you either feel really smart or really stupid, this is definitely something to consider reading. And it's a translated work, and I don't read those very often, so pretty excited about that, to have that under my belt for the year. So this is the last one that was on my March TBR. So yes, those are all the books that I am reading for March. Some of them, like I said, I have already read, and I'm working my way through it. We'll see if I get through it, but I do want to thank you guys so much for being here and for tolerating my lateness and uploading things. My life has been pretty much utter chaos for the last 2 months, I would say. And I think I'm getting into the groove of my new normal now, so hopefully I will be able to be more consistent with uploading and creating content for you guys. But as always, I really just love that you guys are here, and if you're new and you are interested and have enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe so that I can continue to make new content. But otherwise, I will definitely see you guys in the next one. Bye.